I call to order the August 12th, 2020 meeting of the Springfield Board of Licensed Commissioners at 5:30 p.m. in the Law Department Zoom room of Springfield City Hall. We have with us Commissioner Sene, Commissioner Cade, and Commissioner Espinosa. I'm the Chair, Peter Signator, so we have a quorum and we can continue. The first order of business is, somebody say something? No. First order of business is approval of the minutes of the hearing of July 22nd. Have we had an opportunity to review the minutes?
I have. I don't see any changes.
Yes, no problem.
Rosa, okay. Rosa, you're on mute. Rosa has left the room, but we still have a quorum, so we can continue. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the hearing of July 22nd, 2020.
Second.
Second from somebody?
Yeah, second.
Sene, seconds. Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Sene?
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. So we approve the minutes, and we're going to move on to the continued petition for Ocean State Job Lot at 1686 Boston Road. And Rosa is joining us again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ocean State Job Lot, the issue was notification of abutters. Was that the problem, or advertising?
That's correct. Yes, we had, just with everything going on, had neglected to send out the abutters notice and the advertisement notice. That has been sent out. I believe even the return receipt green cards have been sent in. So we are in compliance with the notice requirements. Okay,
so we have them. You mailed them to the commission office?
Yes, my understanding, the return receipts that we have received back so far have been mailed in. And we also sent in the tear sheet for the newspaper as well to Anna.
Okay, great. Commissioners have any questions? No. Okay. I will make another motion to continue to approve the petition for the new beer and wine package store license for Ocean State Job Lot at 1686 Boston Road. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Commissioner Espinosa?
Yes.
Commissioner Sene?
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. Thank you. Hopefully this will be your last meeting with.
Agreed. Thank you. Although we do appreciate your continued time on this.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
So, all right, the next item on the agenda is a petition for a new beer and wine restaurant license for Hot Table at 1500 Main Street, and unfortunately they also did not notice their abutters, so they have asked for a continuance. So I make a motion for a continuance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade?
Yes.
Espinosa?
Yes.
Mr. Sene?
Yes.
Mr. Signatory, yes. Will they be on for the 2 weeks from now?
It should be. Anna would set that up.
All right, so potentially they will be available on August 26th, but it's continued until their advertising and notice is done. All right, move on. We have new business of approval of the temporary expansion of licensed premises. And we have two requests, one from Cozy Cafe at 666 State Street and one from Barkaya at 278 Worthington Street. I reviewed all the application plus the responses from all of the departments who responded, SPD, Fire, DPW, and everyone approves and found nothing wrong with either application. So I would recommend we approve both licenses unless somebody has an issue. Does anybody want to discuss them? No? All right, I would like to make a motion to approve both temporary licenses. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Sene,
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is we have a surrender of a license for the Olive Garden at 1380 Boston Road. They threw in the towel, and officially we have to vote to accept the surrender of the license. So I make a motion to accept the surrender of the license for the Olive Garden, 1380 Boston Road. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Sene,
Yes.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes.
Commissioner Espinoza,
Yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. Thank you. All right.
Question, Mr. Chairman. What
Yes.
happens if we don't accept the surrender of the license?
That's never happened.
Oh.
Why are you changing your mind?
No. I was just wondering what happens.
An odd thing, we were told years ago, if somebody surrenders it, you have to vote to surrender, accept the surrender. It does seem like an odd thing, but it's something we were told we have to do.
I guess it could be.
Okay, all right.
Well, we had Surrey too. Remember, they surrendered theirs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I had a question for you. We're done with the agenda items, right?
We have a couple of bar reports, but otherwise.
Okay. Well, I just was wondering, what was that email we got about the Mount Carmel Club?
Oh, from Attorney Kelly, he would like to set up I believe he wants to set up an informational hearing, because he doesn't want to, he's being proactive, which is good. He doesn't want to run into the situation where the city refuses to renew the license for Mount Carmel next year if they have some obligations.
Okay.
So I think what he was looking for is to set up an informational hearing. I did send him an email last week when we got that email. I haven't heard back from him yet, but as soon as I do, I'll set up an informational hearing so he can come in and let us know what's going on. And
Yeah, so it's just like a preemptive strike, kind of.
so yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you.
that's how I took it.
Yeah, okay.
Carrie and I kind of briefly discussed that before the meeting started, and I have an inkling that we're going to be getting more requests like that because so many businesses have been shut down, right?
Oh,
The majority
okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
we should be ready for how we're going to handle that. And it has to be handled fairly and uniformly. We can't pick and choose who we allowed to renew a license despite the fact that they owe city obligations. So Carrie is going to be going on her honeymoon. She's getting married this Saturday.
Congratulations.
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 Where are you going?
Cape Cod,
Where?
we're supposed to go to Florida, but that had to change.
Nice, very good. Very good.
I'm going to be very excited to start looking into those matters.
Yeah.
I think, the board, I believe, the board can choose not to refuse a renewal of a license, but we want to have a discussion with the mayor, the CAFO, the treasurer collector, make sure everybody's on the same page as how we're going to handle that.
Right.
Renewal time is coming up, right? They usually send the renewals in September, October, so we need to be prepared for that. So hopefully we'll have an answer maybe by the next meeting or the meeting after that.
Okay.
Now, is that something we can choose to sit in on? To just listen to it?
If there's a meeting set up with the mayor,
Yeah,
I can find out. Yeah.
okay. Just, if I had time, I would shoot down just to listen in on what the conversations are, But no big deal. I don't want to push it, just if it's open, and I have time, I'd like to just shoot by. So,
I'll note that
yeah,
you're interested in participating.
thank you.
Okay. We have new violations, and we have a doozy, and Carrie is going to read Barry's actual report. Is that what you're reading?
Yeah, so Officer Delamarter requested that we actually read his report in full. So it's a little lengthy, and I apologize. There's actually two. They're both Malecon restaurant. And there's some additional reports with both of these. Barry has a pretty lengthy report for both of these, and then there's additional police reports and things of that nature. I'm not going to read all of that. I'm just going to read Barry's reports, but if you want to hear the rest of it, if you're having trouble deciding whether you'd like a hearing or not, I'll be happy to do that. But I'll just read his report to start and see if that's enough information for you. So the first one is date of offense, July 5th of this year. And Barry's report reads as follows. On July 6th, 2020, about, I think that's a typo, July 5th, it is July 6th, 2020, about 12:05 a.m. Officers arrested a female in front of 470 Bridge Street for 2 counts of assault and battery. On July 5th at about 11:20 p.m., officers were dispatched to 137 Chestnut Street for a noise complaint and possible disturbance in the rear parking lot. Officers arrived on scene and did not locate any disturbance in the rear parking lot. Officers then proceeded to the front of the building where they observed a female, later identified as the arrestee, physically assaulting another female, punching her in the head and face multiple times with a closed fist. As officers exited their cruiser, a male stepped in between the 2 females and was then struck with a closed fist in the face and back of his head multiple times by the same female. Officers detained the female and requested an ambulance for the female victim, who sustained a small laceration under her left eye, as well as a large welt under her right eye with abrasions. AMR personnel arrived on scene and treated the female for her injuries. She declined to be transported to the hospital. The male and other female involved did not have any visible injuries and both declined medical treatment. The female victim advised officers that the other female approached her inside of Malecon and made comments to her about being out with a male and then physically attacked her. She added that the staff were able to step in and separate the 2 females. She added that she was able to walk away with a male, but the other female followed them, and another physical altercation occurred outside as officers arrived on scene. Officers also spoke to the male, who provided an account consistent with the female victim. He added that the other female was his girlfriend for 4 years before splitting up about 1 month ago, and that she is jealous he was out with the other woman. Officers noted that they spoke to the bar staff, who stated the altercation occurred outside of the establishment. The female was then transported to 130 Pearl Street for processing without further incident. And an officer submitted a special report to the Strategic Impact Unit regarding this incident. I have that if you're interested in hearing it later. The report indicates that officers were dispatched to Malecon about 11:19 a.m. on July 5th for a possible disturbance in the rear parking lot. The officer noted there was no disturbance at that time, but there was a DJ still playing music using amplification devices. As officers circled the block, they came back across a physical altercation between 2 females and a male. Officers intervened and learned that the disturbance stemmed from inside the Malecon restaurant. A female was subsequently arrested. Another officer spoke to the manager on scene, Dominga Pujols, who provided a copy of his 2020 alcoholic beverages license. That officer advised Ms. Pujols to cease the music due to the noise ordinance, to which she complied. Officer Delamarter reviewed calls to the police using the parameters of 12 p.m. July 5th to 1 a.m. on July 6th. There were 2 calls for service, which were merged into 1 call. The first call for service was for unnecessary noise and was initiated at 11:11 p.m. The second call was about 4 minutes later at 11:15 p.m. for a disturbance. The call narrative states the calling party is angry about the noise and reporting that there was also a fight in the back parking lot. There were no calls made from Malecon to the police to report the disturbance. About a week later, Officer Delamarter called and spoke to the female victim. She told Officer Delamarter that she was inside the quote-unquote bar with a male friend when his ex-girlfriend came in and started to assault both of them. She stated other people jumped in, and after a period of time, the fight was broken up. She stated she then left with her male friend, and the other female followed them outside and assaulted them again. She indicated that she did not recall seeing any staff from Malecon outside. She stated that police officers arrived on scene, broke up the altercation, and then arrested the female after talking to all the people involved. Officer Delamarter also called the male victim. That call went to a message stating no calls were being accepted. He tried again over the next couple of days and got the same message. As of the time of his report, Officer Delamarter has not been able to speak to the male victim. And due to the constraints of the criminal justice system, he's unable to contact the female arrestee. Officer Delamarter notes that the manager of record is Genesis Pujols, and she appeared before yourselves, the Board of Licensed Commissioners, on March 11th, 2020 for an informational hearing regarding excessive noise complaints. She was advised at that time that future noise complaints could result in a violation. Also worth noting is that Malecon does not have any permit for outdoor entertainment. The 2020 entertainment permit issued by the City of Springfield to Malecon clearly states no outdoor entertainment is allowed. Officer Delamarter writes in his report that he requests that Malecon Restaurant, located at 137 Chestnut Street, Genesis Pujols, manager of record, be charged with the following: violation of 204 CMR 2.052, no licensee for the sale of alcoholic beverages shall permit any disorder, disturbance, or illegality of any kind to take place on the licensed premises. The licensee shall be responsible whether present or not. 2 counts, to wit: number 1, failure to call the police to report a disturbance, and number 2, failure to abide by the City of Springfield noise ordinance.
Now, what was the, oh, just the fact that there was loud music.
There was complaints from
This,
callers.
all right, okay, this isn't, there was nothing going on in the parking lot.
There's
on
no
this one,
indication, no, that there was.
just noise in general.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is a violation of the entertainment license there as well, right? Because they had, now, did they have entertainment outside? What was the violation?
There's no indication
On
on
that
this
one.
incident.
Not that one, all right,
I don't
okay,
believe so.
all right, okay. So, do we, based on this, you want to read the next one, or should we make a decision on this one? Do you want to hear the next one, or you want to make a decision on this one as to what we should do?
Can we hear the next one?
All right,
I like to hear the next one, yeah.
The second one is about a week later. It's, the date of offense is July 12th, 2020. This is Officer Delamarter's report. On July 12th, 2020, a Springfield police officer submitted a special report to Strategic Impact regarding Malecon located at 137 Chestnut Street. A copy of this report is attached. I have that. The report indicates that 2 Springfield police officers were dispatched to that location, Malecon, for an unnecessary noise complaint coming from a tent set up on the Winter Street side of Malecon Restaurant. The officers observed a tent set up in the rear parking lot of Malecon on the Winter Street side with approximately 300 patrons in the parking lot and around the tent. Officers noted that there were about 20 tables in the rear lot with multiple patrons at each table, and almost all the tables had hookah pipes being utilized by patrons. In addition, officers noted that there was very loud music coming from speakers that were located outdoors at what appeared to be a DJ booth, and patrons were being served alcohol outside in the parking lot. Officers did not observe patrons wearing masks and did not observe any security for the amount of people in the parking lot. The report also states that Winter Street had vehicles parked illegally on both sides of the road, making it impassable for emergency vehicles. Officers did make contact with Genesis Pujols, the manager of record for Malecon, who was compliant and produced a liquor license, which includes a capacity of 66 persons for the interior. One of the officers indicated that this was the only license produced by Ms. Pujols, but she claimed to have another permit of some kind but could not provide it. Officers advised Ms. Pujols that without proper permits, she could not conduct this kind of business, and she replied that she was not aware of this. Officers also reminded her that COVID-19 bylaws are still in effect in Massachusetts. Officers advised management to close the business and noted that it took about 1 hour for all the patrons to leave the premises and required multiple units to be dispatched to assist in moving along the patrons, and clearing the vehicles from Winter Street. The report concludes that there have been multiple calls for noise complaints at this location. Officer Delamarter reviewed police calls using the parameters of 8 p.m. to midnight on July 12th, 2020. There were 4 calls for service located. The first call was initiated at 8:50 p.m. for a noise complaint. The second was also for unnecessary noise, initiated at 9:23 p.m. The third was a quality of life complaint at 10:10 p.m. And the fourth was for a disturbance, and that was initiated at 10:53 p.m. This call was merged with all of the previous calls for service. Following this incident on July 12th, several residents from Mattoon Street and Worthington Street emailed the licensing department and the mayor's office concerning the ongoing noise and music complaints emanating from Malacon. I do have copies of emails, I believe everyone may have seen these already, from residents who reside in the area. These residents describe music played at concert level on Thursday through Sunday evenings in recent weeks. The residents also indicate that noise was an issue for the last few years from inside Malacon, and that they tried to address the issue with the owner but were dismissed. A further review of call logs revealed that 8 unnecessary noise complaints at Malacon, that there were 8 unnecessary noise complaints at Malacon since June 22nd, 2020. These 8 are in addition to the 4 calls on July 12th. 7 of the 8 calls for service were for Saturday and Sunday evenings, including 1 on July 18th and 2 on the 19th. These complaints were made even after the manager of record, Genesis Blueholes, was advised by officers on July 12th. It should also be noted that on March 11th, 2020, Genesis Blueholes, Malacon manager of record, appeared before the Board of License Commissioners for an informational hearing regarding excessive noise complaints. This hearing was held after a complaint was received by the licensing department. Ms. Blueholes was advised at that hearing that future complaints about noise could result in a violation. On July 22nd, Officer Delamarter contacted the City of Springfield Board of Health and inquired if Malacon had a smoking bar permit that would allow for the use of hookahs. He was advised that Malacon does not have a smoking bar permit. Under Mass General Laws, Chapter 270, Section 22, smoking is prohibited in public places, including but not limited to restaurants. It should be noted that Malacon appeared before the Board of License Commissioners on November 8, 2018, for a pre-hearing conference for a violation of allowing the use of smoking material, also hookahs, without the required smoking bar permit in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 270, Section 22. At the hearing, the licensee, with counsel present, stipulated to the facts and was given a 5-day suspension. On July 22nd, Officer Delamarter contacted the City of Springfield Licensing Department to inquire if Malacon had or has applied for a temporary expansion of licensed premises. He was advised that Malacon applied on July 14th for the description of the outdoor area described as 20 feet by 39, which is 780 square feet, resulting in a capacity of 100 people. The application is currently pending. It should be noted that entertainment is not allowed under the temporary expansion of licensed premises. Malacon has a 2020 entertainment license that clearly states that outdoor entertainment is not allowed. Under current COVID-19 guidelines set forth by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the maximum capacity allowed at outdoor gatherings is 100 persons with proper social distancing followed. In addition, tables must be placed 6 feet apart and no more than 6 persons seated at each table. The current guidelines mandate all patrons be seated except when entering or exiting or using the restroom, and masks must be worn if not seated at their tables. Service of alcohol is allowed at the table by servers, employees only, and food must be available for purchase. Restaurants are also prohibited from seating patrons at the bar, and service to standing patrons is not allowed. These guidelines indicate that the operator of a restaurant is accountable for adhering to all local, state, and federal requirements and is responsible for staying abreast of any updates to these requirements. The Springfield Police Department requests that Malacon Restaurant be charged with a violation of 204 CMR 2.05 subsection 2. No licensee for the sale of alcoholic beverages shall permit any disorder, disturbance, or illegality of any kind to take place in or on the licensed premises. The licensee shall be responsible whether present or not. 3 counts are recommended, to wit: number 1, allowing the use of smoking material without required smoking bar permit. Number 2, failure to abide by the City of Springfield noise ordinance. And number 3, failure to abide by current COVID-19 guidelines issued by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. That would be exceeding maximum capacity allowed, patrons not seated, and patrons not wearing masks. The Police firm is also requesting that these reports be submitted, forwarded to the Office of the Mayor for an entertainment hearing for the above violations, as well as allowing outdoor entertainment without the required permit.
What was the date of the incident where everybody was outside smoking hookah?
That's July,
July 12th, okay.
and the other one was July 5th.
That is a rogue operation. Just out of control.
Oh, yeah. What did you say? It was what?
It's a rogue operation. They just do whatever they please.
And the reply always seems to be, oh, we didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's always the
getting
reply.
old now.
We didn't know.
Yep, yep.
All right, so, information, no, what am I thinking? Pre-hearing conference on both?
Yes.
Yeah,
So I make a motion to send this to pre-hearing conference. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Cade,
Yes,
Commissioner Espinosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Sene,
yes.
Commissioner Signatory, yes. So we'll both be combined into one pre-hearing conference when we can schedule that. All right. Is there anything else? Okay, I make a motion to adjourn at 5:57. Do I hear a second?
Second.
second.
Take care.
We're voting. Someone else say yes?
Yes,
Commissioner
Huh?
Sene?
Gotta vote. Gotta vote.
Yes.
I still see you there. All right, everybody, good night. Thank you for.
good night. Take care.
Mary, congratulations and good luck.